What's good, YouTube? My name is Coach, and this is part 4 of this Commander collection that I'm grateful to have here. If you haven't watched any of the previous videos, I most likely have a playlist on the channel that has the other 3 videos with all the rest of the Commanders that I'm grateful to have in my collection. Just keep in mind that you do not have to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, thank you. If not, I'm just appreciative that you're here watching my videos, so thank you. So I'm just going to take these commanders, I'm going to pull them off to the side, and then we'll go through each one by one. The first commander we're going to talk about here is Luna, the Apex of Wishes. This is just my favorite commander. I think this is just my favorite. If you can't tell, I really like the art on this card. I think that this card is just, when I saw this the first time, I immediately knew I wanted to build this commander. This commander is focused on fractals tokens because fractal tokens enter the battlefield as 0/0s, but they have +1/+1 counters as their toughness, which then allows you to mutate a Luna onto a fractal token that has 5, that's a 5/5, which gives a Luna 5 +1/+1 counters, which then if you have some sort of double strike on the board, turns a Luna into a flying, haste, trampling creature with double strike, which allows you to deal 22 points of commander damage. The next commander we have here is Zacara, the Exemplary. This is an Infect, Mutate, X-Tribal commander deck. There's a video for this on the channel. You can go ahead and click on my YouTube channel to find this video. The next commander we have here is Shabraz, the Sky Shark. I know this is normally partnered with Brawlin, however, I just find Shabraz to be good enough. Shabraz is all about just getting as much mana as you can and not really caring about your life total. And then because once you get Shabraz into play, whenever you draw a card, you're going to be gaining 1 life, and this deck tends to draw a lot of cards. So you both get a ton of life drawing cards, and Shabraz is getting buffed by a +1/+1 counter every time you gain life. So Shabraz is just a pretty powerful, I think a low-key powerful commander. Next commander we have here is Dorothea, Vengeful Victim. The goal is to just get Dorothea into play as quickly as possible and attacking so that you can then use Dorothea's aura side, which allows you to enchant a creature to create a 4/4 white spirit token that's tapped and attacking. This deck is focused on tapping down your opponent's creatures so that the creatures that you are attacking with can attack and create that 4/4 spirit token. Next commander we have here is Thantis, the War Weaver. This commander deck's all about just controlling combat and playing around creatures that allow you to attack and then create creatures that are untapped so that as the turns go, you have creatures that are untapped that can block. And Thantis herself also works as a great creature because she has vigilance. So she not only can attack and block, but she also gets buffed whenever you're attacked. Next commander we have here is Ange Falconrath. This is a Reanimator Demon Tribal commander deck. So you basically just tap Ange to discard a creature card to then reanimate. So a typical play line would be like, play Ange turn 3, and then discard a 9 CM converted mana value creature, and then turn 4 you reanimate it, and now you just cheated out a creature 5 turns early. The next card we have here is Killian Ink Duelist. I do not know how this commander deck plays. I have not played it yet. However, what I can say is that this is the first ever tempo commander deck I've ever built. So the average converted mana cost inside this deck is about 2. 3 would be maybe be the highest. There are other higher ones, but with Killian in play, Killian reduces the mana value of spells that target a creature. So it brings the mana value of our deck down, and it's just about playing in a way that by turn 5, you're casting 3 spells per turn, while your opponents are maybe playing 1 or just 2. Next commander we have here is Svela Ice Shaper. This is an X-Tribal commander deck. It's just about getting as much mana as you possibly can. Kind of forgetting about this ability here. All you really want to do is just create the Icy Manaliths, and then you double your mana, and then you put all of that into a fireball. The next commander we have here is Shuyun, the Silent Tempest. This commander is all about goading. You just want to goad your opponent's creatures, and then you can cast a pump spell to give them plus whatever, and then you pay 2 mana. As you can see right here, that it'll give a target creature double strike. And then there's also cards that say that if somebody's attacking you, you can then redirect the damage to a creature or to that player, and then you give that creature double strike. So not only are your opponents hitting themselves, they're hitting themselves for double damage, essentially. Next card we have here is Obside, the Ghost Council. This is just your basic Obside deck. You're just gaining life. He enters the battlefield. Each opponent or target opponent loses 2 life, then you gain 2 life. So we're playing around a lot of cards that care about gaining life. Next commander we have here is Kotori, the Pilot Prodigy. There is a video for this on the channel, and you are more than welcome to go ahead and watch those videos. I will tell you right now that I have played with this commander deck, and I have to figure out a way to close out the game when you have a ton of vehicles in play. And I'm thinking some cards that'll give double strike or something to your creatures, I think would play well inside this deck. Just give this deck like a finishing move in a sense. Next commander we have here is Gatha, the Wellspring. Gatha is a dragon tribal, a legendary dragon tribal commander deck with Karuga as the companion for this deck. And what you're doing is you play Gatha and then you tap Gatha for the mana. And normally legendary dragons cost a variety of mana. So because we can tap Gatha for mana, essentially we only ever pay the generic mana cost for our dragons, which is at most 3 mana. So we just tap Gatha to pay for the colors, and then we pay 3, and then we get a dragon on the board. And it's just about putting a ton of dragons onto the battlefield and attacking. There's also a ton of dragons that cost Wooburg, that cost these colors. So essentially, we just tap Gatha and put it into play like Tiamat. Next commander we have here is Cyani and Akiri. This is actually one of my Brutaclad decks that I combined with the Boros Artifact Commander deck that came out during Strixhaven. So I just combined both of those decks together, and I put these two as the commander because that deck tends to make a good amount of flying tokens. So we have Cyani here, and then Akiri just is a creature that can just get stronger over the course of the game just from the deck playing itself. But there's a lot going on inside this deck. Next commander we have here is Roguerack Faltus. This is one of my favorite commander decks, if I'm being honest. This is a Monarch style commander deck that's focused on making your opponents not want to attack you while you just sit with a Monarch and gain 2 cards every turn, or draw 2 cards every turn. The thing is that Roguerack gains Death Touch from Faltus, and Roguerack having First Strike basically makes your opponents not want to attack you because they want to keep their creatures. Next card we have here is Rivos Timna. This is a legendary creature tribal commander deck that's focused on drawing cards with Timna and then consistently being able to reanimate our powerful creatures with Rivos. Not so much reanimate, but just bring our creatures back to our hand. Next commander we have here is Paco and Haldan. Paco and Haldan, this is a combo deck of divergent transformations and getting to Thassa's Oracle. Really, there are only like 4 creatures inside the deck, which is these 2, and then Thassa's Oracle and Leveler. And then the final commander deck, and one that I enjoy playing very much, there's an infinite combo, or multiple infinite combos inside this deck. It's Tana and Slurk. Well, basically the way this deck works is when Tana deals damage, you create 1/1 saplings equal to the amount of damage that she deals. So what ends up happening is there's a combo inside this deck where you will have a creature go away, it'll put a counter on a creature, which then allows you to remove that creature to create a creature, which then creates another creature, and it just turns to this infinite loop where you can then just deal, either make infinite number of tokens, or the creatures get infinitely larger, or you can just deal infinite damage by sacrificing the tokens that you're creating. So it's a really fun deck. If you have these 2 commanders lying around, they play very well together. And that, for now, is all of the commander decks that I have. So I hope you enjoyed all of these videos. If you have not watched the other videos for all the other commanders that I have, you can click on the playlist that I'm most likely going to have here. Okay, hope you have an amazing day. All right, peace out.